And now we're recording. Yay.
Yay.
Sounds like a
For
plan.
the people that watch on YouTube rather than listen to the podcast feed, because I know you exist, and I'm trying to give you a little something
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of each episode, the stuff that gets cut out. So I'm going to recommend right now that everybody go to Steam and download a free game called 20 Small Mazes.
Is it the word 20 or the numeral 20 in the title?
Oh, it is a 2-0.
Okay.
Although I think either one will work with the way Steam search works.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 20. Yeah, the first two things that pop up are Dirt Rally 2.0, 30xdx, and 20 minutes till dawn when I type in the word 20. So, But yeah, it is a game that has 20 small mazes, and it's free, but it's really cool. And I've been playing it for, what is my played time? 35 minutes. And I've done 9 of the 20 mazes, and I'm in the middle of fighting with one that involves a sliding puzzle. But it's even got one achievement.
Oh.
And the achievement is called Solved 20 Small Mazes. The one you get when you solve 20 small mazes. So, yeah. Hard recommend. It's fun. And, it doesn't take terribly long, and it'll keep your brain healthy.
Yeah, keeping your brain healthy.
Did
Not
that
like
come
that.
through? Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Well, your reaction to it. I don't know if there was
that
something
was,
else we should have heard.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I know my reaction came through because I talk into the mic. That's how the microphone works. But I didn't know if the elbow pop made it through.
No.
Damn.
No, just heard. Ah.
Now
And I was
my
gonna
whole
say something about
arm
your.
feels weird.
That is not your brain being happy.
That is not. Buh. All right then. I'll probably make it to where that sound is the first thing anyone hears on the podcast feed.
Great.
So, hello. Welcome to this Dorks Just Chatting. Dorks Just Chatting. There we go.
Oh.
Episode of the show. This is the final mana pool of 20. What year is it? 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Year 25.
Yeah.
You'd think we'd have this done by now. Does this mean I can't be Channing Tatum?
What?
You said that you started to say Channing, and so I was like, yes, I totally want to be Magic Mike, except Mike is over there. I'm Brian. I'm a rambling guy. I don't know if we would even do introductions on just chatting, but I'm here and Mike's here.
Yeah, I am. I still feel like I'm not educated enough to get whatever joke was being made earlier.
Don't think too hard about it.
Okay, so when I said just chatting, I like messed it up, and Brian said it sounded like I was going to say Channing. So he was trying to say something about Channing Tatum, who is very sexy.
Oh yeah. Have you seen G.I. Joe?
I mean, I did, and then he died like 5 minutes into the second movie.
What? I didn't see the second one, but he was like the main character in the first one.
Yeah.
That's a decision right there.
I don't even remember if the Wayans brother who was with him in the first one was in the second one. But yeah, Duke gets taken out like super early. When it happened, I was like, okay, is that what we're...
Wait a minute,
right.
he plays Duke and they kill him off?
Yeah.
Is it like the other movie
where
he's
killed
killed by...
Duke off?
I guess because they didn't want to pay him to be in it, or he didn't want to be in it. I don't know.
But then why did you have him in the first 5 minutes?
But
That's like
instead, you get The
Elizabeth.
Rock as the main character, which, I
Uh,
mean, if we're being honest, makes more sense than Channing Tatum.
I guess. So he's Duke. Does he like wake up after a coma and they've like done facial reconstruction and all of a sudden he's The Rock, or is he actually like a different character?
Yeah, no, the Rock is he Roadblock?
Okay.
The Rock,
I guess that would make sense.
G.I. Joe. Yeah, Roadblock. Yeah.
I still remember the very first time I saw a bit of like trailer or marketing for G.I. Joe movie. I didn't know yet what I was looking at. And one of my first thoughts when they were showing someone was like, who's this Baroness looking lady? And then I was like, oh, it's
Oh,
actually
it's
the
the
Baroness.
Baroness.
All
Yeah.
right, got it.
There you go.
Like, well, they did a wonderful
Accurate.
job. Yes.
I remember seeing the original G.I. Joe cartoon where they killed off, quote unquote, Duke, and I was like, "Holy crap!" But
No,
then
they
he
didn't.
was back. Then he was back. He just got bit by a giant snake, and everybody's like, "He's gonna die." And then at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, he recovered off screen or something like that."
You know why that is, right?
Why?
Because of the massive backlash from kids and parents about Optimus Prime dying. Like
Ah,
he did die, but they re-recorded some dialogue instead of saying he's gone. They said he's gone into a coma, and then you never see Duke again. And then at the end, like someone in the background yells, "I just heard from the doc, Duke's gonna be a-okay," but you never see Duke being a-okay.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, because they were
So
gonna do what they were gonna Optimus Prime him and kill him off, and then it blew up in their faces with Transformers, and they were like, let's not do that again."
and then 30 years later, they're like, "Yeah, Channing,
Yeah, no one cares
sure,
about you
you'll
anymore,
be
Duke.
you'll be a-okay." They like made Cobra Commander in the first movie out to be, spoiler alert, his brother. He's the only person in the movie with actually like personal connections to the bad guys. In the second movie, they're just like, eh. Would they kill off the Countess too?
The Baroness?
Thank you. I don't know why I blanked on that.
I
I never saw the
honestly,
second one clearly.
I honestly don't remember because the second movie was not good.
Hmm.
It was much cooler in the, oh, look at that! That was a toy! Than the first movie. But as a movie, it wasn't good.
Didn't the first one end with a setup where there was a Cobra guy that infiltrated the White House, and
Yeah.
they set that up for a payoff in the second film?
Oh
Was
yeah,
it
that
worth
that
it?
is the plot of the second movie, is that Zartan is the president.
Hmm.
The
I
main
feel an
thing I
urge to ask if that's a
remember,
step up or step down, but go ahead.
the main thing I remember from the trailers, other than, oh, that was a toy, oh, that's the tank from the cartoons, was the White House with the two Cobra banners dropping
Hmm.
on the sides, and I'm like, oh look, a villain in the White House, a cartoon villain in the White House. Good thing that could never. Oh,
Nothing to see here. Move along.
now I'm sad. Oh, this is in 2013 too, so yeah, at the time it's like, oh yeah, that'll never happen. That's stupid.
Sweet summer Chewy.
Right.
The second G.I. Joe movie was 12 years ago.
Yup.
Wow.
I am turning into a mummy. I feel my skin peeling away. Should probably get that checked out.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably. Anyway, so hello.
Hello.
Hey. You mean we're not just going to talk about G.I. Joe the whole time?
God, I hope not. I was much more of a He-Man kid.
Yeah, I dabbled in a lot of those.
He-Man was slightly before my time. I just missed it by that much.
Yeah, you were more of a Ninja Turtles generation.
Yeah.
I know this because the boy was all deep into Ninja Turtles. And as we determined, I think in the post-show odds and ends last week, you're only like a year older than him or younger than him.
Pretty close, yeah.
You're only a year apart.
I'm between your ages. I'm not as old as Chewie. I think I'm old. I think I'm closer to Chewie's age, but not by a ton. So I'm right in the middle, which makes sense because I watched the heck out of He-Man and I watched the heck out of Turtles. So I watched all that stuff. Did you ever see the Ghostbusters show? And I don't mean the one with Venkman. I mean the other Ghostbusters show.
What, the Filmation one with the gorilla?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a couple episodes of it and was deeply confused.
That's because it was. I learned about it because I asked for Ghostbusters toys for Christmas, and I got Ghostbusters toys for Christmas.
Oh no!
Which made me go, well, hey, I don't remember there being a monkey here. And you know what? It was enjoyable in its own way.
We have Ghostbusters toys at home. The Ghostbusters toys at home.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Oh. Apparently, I did some digging into this a little while ago. It was that one was based off of an old radio show.
Well, it was an old black and white TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a TV show.
I did not know it was a radio show. I assumed before that.
Maybe I trust your memory of this better than mine, so I might have just been thinking of the one, confusing it with the other.
Oh yeah, it's old, so it must have been the radio.
Yeah, pretty much. The talkie shows.
Yeah, there's a whole thing there about why. That's why the cartoon was called The Real Ghostbusters. And that's why there was a Filmation cartoon revival of the original Ghost Space Busters. It was because they were trying to cash in on the popularity of the name, which is, why you got Ghostbusters toys.
It worked.
It did, in at least one case. But yeah, they decided to name the cartoon The Real Ghostbusters as a middle finger to the rights holders, I guess.
Yeah.
They managed to get it for the movie just because I forgot the other name that they were going to use. But they really hated the other name, the filmmakers. So like they recorded the New York audience there in the finale of the movie, when they've got all the people in New York that are there, and I think Ron Jeremy too was randomly there. You can see him in one shot, and it's like, is that? But they recorded the audience chanting Ghostbusters, and we're like, look, this is just what we're going with. Make it work. It was Ghost Breakers, or it was something that just does not roll off the tongue as well. Here we go. When I Google it, it was going to be
Spirit Hunters.
Spirit Hunters. Ghost Stoppers? No, I think Ghost Breakers was the one that I always hear thrown around in the retrospectives and whatnot about it. Oh, the movies that made us. Yeah. Anyway. There's
I feel like I
all
learned
kinds of nonsense.
several interesting facts about the Ghostbusters franchise over the last couple of years. Such as, so about the voice cast for the animated series. You know, none of the actors involved in the movies lent their voices to the show.
Right.
Ernie Hudson actually auditioned for Winston Zeddemore, but they were like, nah. And they ended up and Arsenio Hall ended up getting it.
That's interesting. You had
Yeah.
one of the original cast members audition for it and not get it.
Yeah.
Huh.
I never in my life realized that it was Arsenio.
Yeah, for the first 3 seasons. I'm looking at the details now to remind myself. For the first 3 seasons. And then let's see, it says Buster Jones did it for the rest of the series. For the first 2 seasons, Lorenzo Music was Peter Venkman's voice. Now, I find that really funny because Lorenzo Music was also the cartoon voice of Garfield, and then later
Somehow
Bill
I knew
Murray
this is
was
where
the voice
you
of
were going.
Garfield. Yeah. And interestingly enough, I didn't know this. After season 2, Dave Coulier was Peter Venkman.
Yeah, more famously known as the guy that Alanis Morissette made You Ought to Know about.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he was in some other sitcom in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know. One of those ones.
And the reason I said it that way is because I honestly could not remember which one. He was not Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse was John Stamos. Full House. There we go.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were making a joke.
What was his name?
Yeah, but for some... I don't remember his character's name either.
There we go. Joey. He was Uncle Joey.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Jesus.
Wait.
Venkman Garfield
Uncle Joey,
thing is so weird.
Uncle Joey dated Alanis Morissette?
Yeah, Dave Coulier is who You Ought to Know is about.
That's crazy. I guess all famous people really do know each other.
Well, they were both, young Canadian stars, so.
That's true.
I knew Dave Coulier from that terrible, stupid show he was on that was on Nickelodeon. But I cannot remember what it was called.
Do you remember what it was about?
Was it Out of Control? Maybe? I don't know. I just remember him. Maybe it was on Comedy Central. I don't remember. But when he showed up on Full House, I was like, "Oh, that's the guy from that whatever thing." And he would always do the cut it out. And then when he started doing it on Full House, I was like, "You need to stop. It wasn't funny the first time."
That was a bit that he carried over from another show.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Ugh. That's just lazy.
Yeah, especially because it's stupid.
Yeah, but the other neat thing I learned about the Ghostbusters movie theme song, like there's a reason it sounds so much like I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis and the News. It's because the producers and directors wanted to use that song for the movie. And like they were working with it on a pretty regular basis. Like there were multiple sequences where they had like edited the film based on the beat and the music stings. But they couldn't actually get rights or permission to use it. So as kind of a last minute thing, they went to Ray Parker Jr., who was an accomplished and award-winning musician. It's like, hey, we need a song, and we need it to be very much like this, like as much as possible, and we need it like this week. He's like, oh shoot. So he slapped something together in like 2 days. He slapped a demo together in like 2 days, sent it back to them. It's like, okay, here's the first draft. What do you guys think of this? It's like, it's great, it's wonderful, we're going to use it. It's like, well, wait a minute, I need to go back and finish it. It's like, nope, we don't have time, we're going to use this.
Surprise.
So we have the Ghostbusters theme that actually got taken to court because of how similar it was to I Want a New Drug.
So didn't have the time to really get the rights to the song, didn't take the time to really clear up the rights to the name. I feel like we're sensing a pattern here. We're gonna make this thing no matter what anybody says. And I mean, obviously it paid off in the long run, but still kind of, like I said, noticing a pattern here, guys.
But
Those intellectual property rights, those are just suggestions, right?
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Man. Buster Jones was every black character in the 80s cartoons.
Uh-huh.
He was Doc in G.I. Joe. He was Blaster in Transformers. He was Lothar in Defenders of the Earth. He was Black Vulcan on Super Friends.
Black Vulcan.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw Super Friends. Is that the one with Spider-Man?
No. That was Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends.
Oh, sorry, I got my friends mixed up.
Yeah, Super Friends is Batman and Superman, and it's the Justice League.
Okay.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's actually what came to mind when you said that, so.
Solomon Grundy want pants too. I mean, what? Anyway. So, what do we talk about now? I think we've run our limit on Ghostbusters trivia.
You think so? So,
Actually,
I had kind
no,
of an interesting.
I don't think so. We could totally go off on how Frank Welker was every weird sound in the cartoon, but
yeah, and Ray.
Was he the one from Police Academy?
What?
No, not like that.
Okay. Who was the guy that was from Police Academy that also did the noises on Spaceballs?
I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. Dang.
Michael Winslow. There we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Frank Welker didn't do sound effects. He does creature noises. Like Frank Welker was Slimer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And chances are anything you can think of that has some sort of weird animal noise from the 80s to yesterday, it's probably Frank Welker.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an exaggeration. Like, pull up Frank Welker's acting roles, and you'll be like, Jesus God, because you can scroll for a week. Anyway, good old Frank like on School of Movies, whenever he's talking about a show or something, Well, he'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, we got Welkered."
I see what they did there.
Yeah. Sorry, that was so random.
That's okay.
And to round it out, the actor who did Egon's voice was Maurice LaMarche, who you might also know as the Brain from Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's been in
Oh.
so many things over the years
Mm-hmm.
as well. That was also so random. Brian.
Yes, it was
So
very
random.
wasn't it? Thank you for the segue. To
Super subtle segue.
I'm not used to subtle.
Oh, I
man.
forgot we even talked about that. Wow.
Oh my god.
I didn't know why you guys kept overemphasizing the word random. I'm like, okay,
That was pre-Ghostbusters, you know. So, this is kind of just a free-form discussion we're having here today. But hey, so I think everybody at this point is familiar with the concept of a randomizer. If you're not, it's usually a term that would be applied to a modification, a hack, or other change to a video game where there's an element that is not usually random, but in this hack or in this mod, something has been randomized. For example, think about like a Zelda game. Well, what if the treasures were randomized and you didn't necessarily get them in the same order? And there have been many randomizers done with Legend of Zelda, Super Metroid, Castlevania, any number of titles. And so I thought, what if we had a discussion about what do we think would be interesting titles to make into randomizers? And maybe we'll each think of one game and we'll be like, well, this was a dumb topic. Or maybe we'll think of 50. The only rule I would say to this is there needs to be
topic. What?
You have to come up with at least one, though. Then you can say that. The only thing is you have to think of a way that the randomizer, whatever is that you're randomizing, does not actually keep you from playing the game. For example, I mentioned Legend of Zelda. There are versions of the game where if you were to completely randomize the items that were obtained in dungeons, it might just be like, okay, well, I don't have the raft. I can't get to half of these dungeons. I guess I'm done. But the mods are done in such a way that you will always have a way to progress. In Final Fantasy IV, there is a randomizer called Free Enterprise, and it is structured in such a way that you always have the ability, if you search everywhere and you fight the bosses, you will not be locked out of content. You will always find a way to the underground map or the moon map or wherever you need to go. It's more of a test of the player's knowledge of the game, of like, okay, these are the bosses that usually drop items, or these are the locations or treasure chests where items might be found. And it's a test of, again, how well does the player know the game and how do they know the randomizer. And so I think it's only fair, since I came up with the topic, that I'll go first. Hang on a minute. Go ahead.
I can tell Brian has never actually messed with any sort of randomizer in his life, because he just explained in way more detail than was necessary the basic thing that randomizers have to do.
Do you want to add to that description?
No, I just think it's funny that like you described the anti-lock logic that randomizers have.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if it was not constructed that way, then it would make the game pointless. So
yeah, which is why the early randomizers were really a crapshoot, but now they've got, like, nobody wants to play a thing where you get soft locked after, 2 hours of playing. You literally can't make progress anymore. So now randomizers have like built-in logic. So it's not a complete randomization. It's randomization in groups.
Yeah.
I just found it funny that Brian explained that as if it was something he just came up with.
No, it's not something I came up with. I'm just saying that in our discussion, that might be a helpful directive to keep in mind. But since I came up with the topic, it's only fair that I go first. And the first thing that came to mind was a Star Fox randomizer. So, for those that haven't played it, I think we talked about Star Fox not too long ago in a previous episode where we talked about
Vehicles.
games where you were vehicles or you played in vehicles.
Right.
And the one that I'm most familiar with are the original and then the one for the N64, which I did complete the one on N64. I played the heck out of that one. But I'm wondering if there was a way to randomize like the enemies that you fight or the locations that you travel to. So if you didn't, for example, have the option to pick your path on the map, then you would have to be able to travel through and not necessarily know where everything is. Because so much of these shooters, this genre is memorizing enemy placement. How do you fly through all the golden rings or the silver rings on Corneria? Well, because you play it a bunch of times and you figure out where they are ahead of time. That's part of learning the game, right? But if you randomize some of that information, you'd have to think much faster on your feet. What do you think?
It turns out there is a Star Fox 64 randomizer.
I didn't do any research for this topic. I came up with it. No, I came up with this like in passing a half an hour ago. So this will probably not be the only time that that's the case.
I really like the idea of the randomized pathways. So that really does test your skill about how well you know and can play, and how well you can play the entire game versus like a particular path that you just get used to, just trying to go and beat Andros.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. How does the randomizer work? Do we know?
I think you'd have the same exits from each level. It's just that the level that they lead to next would be what's random.
Okay.
Like in the very beginning of the game, you have two paths out of Corneria, but each of them are going to lead to a completely different place, and then so on down the line.
So you might leave Corneria and end up at like the satellite. That's the penultimate level, and
Right.
then you might go find yourself in a submarine. I wonder if you could randomize the vehicles, but the levels probably wouldn't work that way. If you're in space and you're in the tank, it probably just won't work. So
I get the
wonder what they
feeling
did
he
when
was actually asking me how the randomizer that exists works.
I did, but Mike picked it up and I loved it. My question was, I wonder how they actually did make that work. Mike went into a specific example of how he would like to see it work, and I think that's great.
What it really looks like, most of it is just nonsense, but it's got random planets, random items.
Oh, yeah.
Random items could be cool.
Yeah, all item spawns will be random. Let's see here. A bunch of stuff involving colors. Random engine colors. Random ambient colors. Okay. Random warp chance. Chances of starting Meteo and Sector X in their warp space is 50-50. Okay. Random expert. So it could be either expert or random or regular mode.
Oh.
Random music. Marathon mode forces the game in planet order of blue path, then yellow path, then training mode, then red path, and ends on Venom 2. So it, instead of a randomizer, it makes you play everything.
Oh, that's kind of not random because it's everything, but
oh god, there's a page 2. You can change number of starting bombs, starting lives, laser type, extra Star Wolves. Star Wolf will spawn on Katina once the UFO appears and always be enabled on bulls. I don't know what that means.
It's been too long since I played to know what that means.
Yeah. But yeah, it's mainly planets and items, it looks like.
I just found it as well, and there's a box for random dialogue. I'm like, what's that mean? Apparently, when you're flying through the level, like all of the like, hey, there's an enemy coming up, or fly through this ring, or I need help, all of that will be randomized. Which
I wonder if
sounds
it
great.
randomizes the or if that's tied with the portrait, because they don't speak in words, like they all have a sound but each sound is different for each character. So I wonder if you could get like Peppy making the Slippy Toad sound.
Well, in 64, it's actually
Is this
worse.
the Super Nintendo Star Fox randomizer you're looking at?
This
Wait,
is
they
64.
speak in the
Yeah.
they do speak in
Yeah,
64, don't
do.
they?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's been too
Gee,
long since I
I've
played
been
Star Fox
saved by
64.
Fox.
That's I mean,
How awesome.
how many times have we said to each other, "Do a barrel roll"?
Do a barrel roll. Or Falco being like, awesome. Fox saved me. Yay.
Yeah, the thing that popped into my head to remind me that they're actually spoken dialogue was Fox, help! And I was like, I'm gonna shoot you myself, you little froggy bastard.
So that's fascinating. Mike immediately went to Peppy being like, do a barrel roll. I immediately went to Falco being a jerk. And Chewie immediately went to Slippy.
Being a jerk at Slippy. Yeah.
This is what happens when we don't have Dirk. Does this mean Dirk is in fact Star Fox? It might be. But
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. Wait, I don't want to be Falco. But yeah, those dialogues are apparently, you can check the box to make them random. Which sounds hilarious to watch someone else do, and probably super annoying to play through myself. So, but that's just I'm glad someone already thought of that. I think there's a decent chance through this discussion that if it's interesting enough, in this day and age, somebody might have done it.
I mean, and at this point, if there's anything in the 8 or 16-bit era that you can think of to randomize, someone already has.
Yeah.
Unless it's something terrible.
As a side note, I wonder if anybody has randomized Rogue Squadron. No, not every game is going to come from the vehicle discussion, but I wonder if anybody had done that, because so much of that game is locked into, oh, you have to use a Y-wing here, you have to use a B-wing or whatever, or
there is no official or widely available randomizer specifically for Rogue Squadron.
Haha, somebody get on that.
Well, that's what the AI overview says.
Okay. Well, I trust AI. You hear that, AI? I trust you. You don't have to report me now. But what is another game that somebody thinks might be cool to see randomized? A game or a genre or something?
I started thinking of, some of the thoughts that I've had. My first immediate thought is like, wait a minute, how would that even work? What would be randomized? One of the games I thought of is like a King's Quest type game.
Oh,
It's
God.
like, wait a minute, what would actually be randomized?
Those games are random
Like-
enough. Point-and-click adventure games are random enough as it is.
Yeah. How would a point and click adventure be randomized? Would you just pick up random items? That's a sure way to soft lock or speed run, or maybe, I don't know, either get stuck on the first screen or skip 90% of the game after the first screen.
Not familiar with King's Quest.
But then it's a point and click adventure game. You go around and talk to people and pick up items and use this on that. Exits are north, south, and Dennis and whatever. But
Sorry.
what if it was
Oh,
just that all the tiles of the map were randomized?
Oh,
Oh, so when
okay.
you walk
So
off the first screen, you can get like the 15th screen?
Yeah, maybe. Mhm.
That's
I
trippy.
I rented a game forever ago. I think for the original NES. I think it was Shadowgate, and
Mhm.
it was and it was a point and click, and you could pick up items and put them in your inventory.
I love
Um,
Shadowgate.
is that the? I have to make sure this is the game I'm thinking of. But that's what I'm thinking of when you're describing this type of game.
Yeah, except King's Quest is a instead of you being a first person game, it's a third person game, right, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
the
I see
original
that.
King's Quest didn't it have a text parser still?
Yes.
Oh God.
The first 4 games were text parser.
So you actually had to type, get you flask instead of
Yes.
clicking on
Mhm.
get and then clicking on the flask. That was an
Yeah,
evolution that came later.
yeah, I think the first cursor-based interface was King's Quest V. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure 4 Perils of Rosella was text parser still.
Man.
I looked at the Wikipedia page. Yes, this is Shadowgate that I was thinking of. And when you're talking about random and you're talking about like randomizing the tiles, I get what you mean. I think like when you go through from one screen to another, you might end up in a completely random place. So you're randomizing the order. For a minute, I thought you meant actually like randomizing the backdrop, which means I have to click on literally every single pixel.
That would be awful.
That would in fact be torture.
That'd be
So,
unplayable.
especially because like in Shadowgate, if you click on the wrong thing, you die. It's like, why did you pick up this torch and light yourself on fire? Sure, dude, go right ahead. And I'm like, no, I didn't mean to do that. I just,
You clicked use, then you clicked the torch, then you clicked self. What did you expect?
I thought I was gonna be holding it up, and then, I also clicked the oil. Yes, that was a mistake. So there were so many ways to die in that game. I never came close to beating it. I'm pretty sure. Did you ever play on the NES? There was a Maniac Mansion or something that was similar to that.
I played that on
I
PC.
I
I
didn't
know what you're talking
sadly.
about.
That was another one where I feel like you almost need a guide for some of those because otherwise you're like I'm looking around and I'm like I can go into the basement and I don't literally understand what I need to do.
Well, you
So,
see, one of the big problems, especially with older point and click adventure games, is what's known as moon logic,
what does that
where
mean?
the solution to any given puzzle. The Monkey Island games, from what I understand, were bad about this, as was the first and the second Discworld games. Is the solution to any given puzzle doesn't make normal human logical sense,
But it makes moon sense.
but it makes sense in the bizarre reality of the game. And I can't. Let's see. Famous moon logic.
There's an infamous example from Gabriel Knight 2, where you have to go through this ridiculous convoluted process to gather pieces to make a disguise for yourself to get in somewhere. But if you stop and pay attention, you realize that the disguise you're making does not actually make you look like the person that you're pretending to be.
Like, okay, here we go. A famous example is using a pie to distract a Yeti in King's Quest V.
Oh yeah, you hit
Oh, isn't that the pie that you have to leave in your inventory for like a very long time and not eat it or use it for anything else, or else you'll get stuck way later in the game?
Yeah, you get it very early.
Yeah. Or combining random items like a ninja star and a watermelon into a swimsuit. Or, that's in a Monkey Island game, needing to exchange a book for a staff to get a green cheese moon in King's Quest 2.
Huh.
Oh yeah, the Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers is create a mustache from cat hair.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
had
the
to get
person
something
you're.
sticky and hair from a cat.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've never played any of these games, and I know these. That's how, or
Yeah.
I'm aware of them. That's how
Yeah, and
insane.
and the stupidest part is if you look at the picture on the ID of the person you're impersonating, they don't have a mustache.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's one of the problems of the old point and click games, and even not necessarily just the old ones, is that like the way that things get done is a way that doesn't make sense. So you have to. This is where I think it's an old Penny Arcade where they were talking about like rubbing everything in your inventory on everything else in your inventory
Hmm.
in case
Hmm.
something happens.
Yep. I remember I remember stopping to do that many times whenever I got stuck in a game like that. Just, all right, let's go to the inventory and start putting one thing on top of another.
Yeah.
Sometimes it didn't do anything, but sometimes it did. And I'm not sure which of those instances was more annoying than the other.
Oh! What if you had a crafted game like Minecraft, where keep in mind I've never played Minecraft, but where
Mm.
like you go around the world and you're like, okay, 2 pieces of lumber and a hammer builds you a bat, for example, where it has a set recipe, but instead of 2 pieces of lumber build and a hammer builds you a bat, it might also build you like a diamond sword, where the recipes are random.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that idea.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure people would. There are some people out there who would have a lot of fun learning all the recipes for their instance.
Okay, so we've got on rails shooters like Star Fox. We've got point and click adventures.
Hmm.
I don't know that games like Madden, uh, unless you randomize the stats of every player. Oh man, I thought I was getting Peyton Manning, and instead I got, and I don't know athletes well enough to
Steve.
say, sure, I got Steve Manning instead. How is he doing anyway? I don't think he's doing very well. So
Oh no, just Steve, because he's not a real person.
yeah.
It would be pretty sweet to be playing Tecmo Super Bowl and get like 3 Bo Jacksons,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, randomizing the rosters.
but you only need one Bo Jackson in Tecmo Super Bowl to win.
Hmm.
Bo Jackson was so OP in Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES. He could literally run circles around the defense. And I've
I
I've
never did.
seen videos of it, and it's just silly.
I never did play a whole lot of sports games on the early systems. Just not. I'm not so anti-sports. I'm like I can't even do that. I just my head doesn't really go for it. I remember because I had a subscription to Nintendo Power, they pushed a Ken Griffey Jr. game hard, and I think I rented it once. And you just wanted to play as the Seahawks because they
The
were
the
pushing Ken
Mariners,
Griffey Jr. The Mariners. Sorry, Seahawks are
wrong,
football.
wrong
I know
sport.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to play as the Mariners because the whole game it's like playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out if you could play as Mike Tyson. So hey, randomized Punch Out. Ooh,
I think
Hey,
that's a
that'd be
thing.
cool. Yeah.
You do you know why they were pushing the King Griffey game so hard?
I mean money, but what else?
Oh, Nintendo of America owned the Mariners at that point in history.
I did
Uh,
not know that, and that makes all the sense in the world. So
Yeah, Nintendo bought a controlling stake in 1992, saving the team from being moved. I did not know that.
Hmm.
And they remained the principal owner until Hiroshi Yamauchi's death in 2013. Oh, they still own a minority stake.
Did not know that.
I
I didn't know it in the first place. So.
I didn't realize they had it for so long. That's neat. So I'm sorry, it was not Nintendo of America. It was Nintendo.
Okay, wow.
But I kind of like what I came up with there. What if you had Punch Out, but the move sets were random? So you go to fight Glass Joe, and you're like, okay, and it's King Hippo's move set.
See, now, damn it, that's funny.
That would be entertaining.
I like that. That one I think could work.
That'd be a real fun test of skill for someone who really loved the game. Being able to try to figure out in the first few seconds of the fight who it really was.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be difficult. But hey, the whole point of a lot of randomizers is you've played the game, you've beaten the game, you know this game really well. If you want to play a game for the first time with a randomizer, you can do that, but I think depending on the skill required, it's going to be an uphill battle.
You'd have to make new sprites, though.
You would. Uh-huh.
You would, yeah.
Because, like, King Hippo doesn't have an uppercut. And he definitely doesn't have a, Super Macho Man spinning lariat. So you would have to get someone to make new sprites for the game.
Yeah.
Just so it's playable. But other than that small, not small at all, hurdle, that would be really, really neat.
There you go. Chewy, do you have any thoughts on this topic?
No, because I'm too deep in video games that, like, I'm already aware of so many randomizers.
Gotcha. You're in too deep already.
I kind of want to see. This would have to be an entirely different game, though. But I kind of want to see a. Speaking of Punch-Out, a game where you can fight anybody from any Punch-Out game.
Hey.
So, like, from round to round, you don't know if you're going to go up against, Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, or Bob Charlie from Super Punch-Out, or insert character from the one on Wii.
Yeah. Yeah, the movesets, all the pixels and all that would remain the same, but the rounds are randomized. Like you said, you don't know who you're fighting against. It's like picking the randomizer on Smash Brothers when they, like, whatever the most recent one is, where they're like, everybody's here, and literally everybody was there. So even Chewy's mom was a playable character. She kicked ass. What was the name of that Smash Brothers? You had it for the Ultimate. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I realized a little while ago I never picked up either of the character pack DLCs for that game because at the time they're like $25 a piece, and I was like, that's a whole new game. I'm not gonna.
Ouch. Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay $20 for that. I'll wait till they go on sale. They went on sale exactly once the whole time they were on my Switch wish list.
Dang.
And it was like $5 extra off or something. And I went, and then I realized a few days ago when I got an email about, oh, we're having a big sale. And I looked, and everything on my Switch wish list is a Nintendo game because anything else I'm going to get on Steam. And none of it was on sale. And I saw that the 2 character packs for Smash Ultimate were on there, and I was like, I'm never going to buy this now.
Like, are they so expensive because they also come with full, like...
No.
Okay.
It's because I love Nintendo, but like walking down the Nintendo aisle at like Target, you go to like the Xbox one and it's like, "Oh, this game's been out for a year. It's, 30% off or whatever." And the Nintendo stuff doesn't like go down. I think they just know that they're
Yeah,
exclusives. People will buy them, so they don't need to put them on sale.
yeah.
If
Nintendo stuff
anything,
never goes down like at
yeah,
GameStop. It just if it's on the current system, nope, you're getting the normal $5 off.
yeah. $10 used, maybe.
No, no, no. That's what I mean. Used, it's full price minus
Okay.
five.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So here we go. The challenger packs contain characters, music, stages, and bonus me costumes.
Hmm.
And each one has, well, the first one has Joker, the Dragon Quest hero, Banjo Kazooie, Terry Bogard, Byleth, and that's it. The second one has Min Min from ARMS, Steve and Alex from Minecraft, Sephiroth, Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles, Kazuya from Tekken, and Sora.
Where's Sora from? I'm kidding.
I hate you.
Before,
But, like, that was Joker from Persona 5, not from DC Comics.
Yeah.
That was just for you,
Oh,
Brian. Uh, but yeah, like, I guess if you were playing it at the time and those popped out, you'd be like, yeah. But again, that's when I was like so broke that the idea of spending that much money on a DLC was laughable.
Oh yeah.
well, like you said, $25 is half half a new game. So,
Well, and I don't buy new games at full price, so that is a new game. Was it 25 and 29? I want to say. Yeah, this one's 25. Search Smash Bros. Ultimate. No, not the individual challenger packs. Oh my god. The Steam online store is such Steam. The Switch online store is such crap. And Fighters Pass 2, yeah, it's $29.99. So it was $55 to get both.
Yikes.
And I love Sora and Kazuya, etc., etc. No, I'm not doing that. Anyway. Hi.
Hey. So I was trying to think of how you could apply this to a racing game. The just having a random order of courses in a cup.
What happens
Um,
when you when
boring.
you shift up or down is randomized.
oh, that's. I
uh,
mean, there's some like I play a decent amount of Mario Kart, and you can definitely go in. One of my favorite ways to play with Sam is you go into two-player mode, and you now that we for the Wii, which is the last version of Mario Kart we have, we unlocked all the carts, all the racers, bikes, and all the courses, and you can go in and just be like, all right, give us four races on random tracks.
mhm.
And so it will go ahead and do that. And items are already at least somewhat
Yeah,
randomized, where so you've already got some of that in Mario Kart.
yeah. So uh, then I was okay. So a stronger test of skill,
Hmm.
and you'd have to work on the transitions. so that it wouldn't be too jarring and disorienting, would be each lap starts a different lap, or a lap from a different random track.
Ah, ooh. And now everyone has to do the same, go through the same areas, because
Yeah,
otherwise you might have somebody like the person in first place, all of a sudden they're on their second lap and they're in an area that's 30 seconds shorter, just on average.
yeah, yeah.
But
Or,
so yeah, if
or one person ends up on Rainbow Road and they're like,
yeah, whereas the other person, like next person's on Peach Beach, which is very, very short.
yeah,
So
no.
yeah, no,
It'd be the same sequence for everyone involved in that race. Yeah.
but once you've established that sequence, everybody runs through it.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that a lot. And you think if most races are what, 3 laps, so that's enough variance. So the
Right.
first, and if, especially if you don't even pick the first one, I guess maybe you could pick the first one, but otherwise you just go in and it's random every time. And it's a very different skill set to do the ice level than it is to do the haunted house level, which is
Yes. Very.
all extreme right turns. So, yeah,
You're right. Turns
I
are
like that.
extreme.
Did
I
you hear
think
what
with some,
Mike's suggestion was?
No, but that's okay. Keep going.
yeah.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, so in summary, a randomized racing game where each lap starts a different track. You'd have to work hard on the transitions to make sure it's not too disorienting, but I think it could work. There are some older racing games where I think you could go one more and actually have randomized sections of track, like something like Outrun, where you're not seeing the entire, there's no way to see the entire course at a time, and there aren't enough set pieces for it to really matter how the track is put together. You could have randomized sections of track where you don't have the same sequence of turns and straightaways and everything. So you can't be just running a course that you've memorized. You have to do it. You have to run it live.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
could be really interesting. Cool.
Okay then.
What about a Gradius type game? Well, no, we already kind of touched on that with Star Fox. I was gonna say it's Gradius type game where your power ups were random or did random effects, but I think we've kind of covered
Yeah.
similar.
That takes away the whole reason to play the Gradius games, because you control which power ups you get rather than what pops out of an enemy. I don't know. I enjoy, rather than randomizations, I enjoy like smashing things together. Like Mike, I know you'll remember this. There was an old ass game that took the original Super Mario Brothers and put in just a crap load of other old NES characters.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. So you could be Link, or you could be Mega Man, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Samus,
it was
the
an
guys from Contra.
it was an old Flash game, right?
I don't know if it was a Flash game or not, but it was an old like random free downloadable thing.
Yeah, I played it.
Oh my god, was it called? It was called Super Mario Brothers Crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I played it. They added more characters over time.
And apparently it's still around.
Good for them.
we have someone in the chat. Hello,
Hey,
chat.
Donovan Bain says, I enjoy smashing things together. Like Mike. It's true.
That is in fact the sequence that you stated those words in.
I was gonna say don't tell his wife, but she knows.
She's pretty perceptive.
Yeah, to take it back to the vehicles episode, I remember one of my favorite characters to play as, and it was Sophia the Third from Blaster Master. The latest version available was released in 2013. Oh.
Oh, so they kept updating it with stuff?
Yeah, apparently it was updated for like 3 years.
Wow.
Trippy. Anyway. But yeah, like that sort of thing is what I want. You know, that goes back to the Punch-Out thing. Like, I would love a game where you can fight against any version of the
right.
the fighters from across all the Punch-Out games, or well, sort of like Final Fantasy Renaissance, where Osmo, the single developer, is I've talked about this in the past because I did a playthrough of it on stream. But you set up a party. He's got 18 jobs in it now, I think, with 2 more that have gotten away from him. He's working on Samurai and Machinist.
Uh-huh.
And apparently he went kind of overboard on adding stuff in for those because he originally wanted to release it in October. And it is December 18th. But there's no randomize option in that, but, you know, you can easily get a random number generator. Or I guess someone in the Final Fantasy Renaissance Discord did just make a randomizer where you can click, give me a party, and then make a party for it. So that's neat, because it's Final Fantasy 1, but he's got jobs from way later in the series.
Right.
Like, my first party was Lancer, Dancer, Geomancer, Evoker.
Lancer, Dancer, Geomancer sounds like a band name, and I love it.
Sounds like a line from a Christmas song.
On Lancer, on Dancer, on Geomancer.
A high fantasy law firm.
There you go, yeah. But they evolve into Dragoon, Rhythmist, Elementalist, Summoner.
Not quite as snappy.
Not really, no. And I did not pick them because of that. It just came out that way. But yeah, that's mostly for, you know, fan-made projects, it seems. Or crappy mobile games like, oh no, wait, it wasn't a mobile game. It was a 360 arcade game. Oh, I can't remember. It was a Castlevania game that was multiplayer, and it was kind of roguelike before that became a thing, where all of the different characters from across the franchise were available to play. You would pick one and then go through, you know, by yourself or with friends, playing other characters and collect treasures and go fight the boss and make your character stronger, and then go back through and get more loot and fight the boss until you were strong enough to go to the next castle. And in that you could play as, you know, 8-bit Simon or Alucard from Symphony, or any of the DS characters. Stuff like that. That was really cool. Although since it was multiplayer focused, I never actually played it for more than a few minutes. But it was really cool, except for the multiplayer specific part, for me personally. But I love I just love smashing things together like Mike.
True. Diablo already has a randomizer type effect between the procedurally generated maps and random drops from enemies.
Every time you enter a dungeon, your class changes. Or whatever it's called in Diablo.
Uh-huh.
That would be... I wanted to roll barbarian. Now I'm rolling not barbarian.
Huh.
What?
That would be weird because the skill trees don't necessarily match up.
That might be easier to do in the first one, to just to switch your class each level and give you some kind of equivalent gear set, because there's some things that just would either be pointless or just fall off of you if you weren't the right class with the right stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could make it a whole... I mean, you could honestly make it a whole roguelite mode.
Mm-hmm.
Where you get, the whole point of running dungeons is to get a currency so you can buy loot that matches whatever your randomized class is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, skill points or whatever. I don't know how things work in each different Diablo game, but...
Yeah, the first one was very simple. You just had points that you put into your stats, and then you could level up your spells. That was it. 2 introduces skill trees, and you're still managing your stats with points at each level up. 3, they just made stat progression for level ups automatic, and now you just decide what you want your skill layout to be.
They also added bright colors, so that game was gay and woke.
Including unicorns.
I still remember the screenshot that had color in it, and people were like, "This is terrible. This is not my Diablo." I'm like, "What?" It's a screenshot.
Chewy, we shouldn't be able to see the screen. Come on.
Apparently. Ooh, Donovan Bain said there's a loot randomizer mod to Baldur's Gate 3 that adds hundreds of new items, which made repeat playthroughs very fun and very painful. I bet. There is a full-on roguelike mod for Baldur's Gate 3 called, what's it called? The Trials of Tav, which I really, I think when I finish my second playthrough, I'm going to install it and see how that works. Because you get... Let's see. I've watched a couple of people do playthroughs, but they don't do a lot of explanation because they assume you know how it works already. But like, you pick your class, you make your character at first, as always, and then it gives you, like, as you start in camp, and then when you're ready to go, you leave camp, and it puts you on a random map with a random enemies, and then when you win, it gives you loot of some sort and some amount of currency, and there's a little store where you can buy upgrades, like buy ability score improvement, or buy the Pixie's Blessing, because once you hit a certain number of wins, it's gonna spit you out into maps from Act 2 where there's the Shadow Curse, and if you don't have the Pixie's Blessing, you're just gonna die. and buy illicit powers and randomize loot, get an experience boost, that sort of thing.
Right.
But it really, from what I saw of, like I said, I've only watched a couple of videos of people playing it, but it really makes you think about the game in a completely different way. Because I don't know if it's possible to get terribly far, like, as a caster class, because you're alone and everything's coming at you, and there's no tank to throw in the way. So if you're a wizard with 12 HP, you're probably going to die on, like, the second fight. Because you can still do, long... Also, you don't want to be dependent on long rests. Because in Baldur's Gate 3, when you long rest, you have to have a certain number of camp supplies. And I think that's part of the loot you get. Camp supplies. So you can't just long rest between every fight willy-nilly because you probably don't have the supplies for it.
It's kind of like tents in Final Fantasy.
Sort of, yeah. So, yeah, the one video that I saw most recently, the dude was trying. He tried a ranger. He tried barbarian a couple times. He tried monk several times before. I don't remember which one actually made him get through it. Like, he made it up to round 50 or something stupid like that before he finally died. I was like, Jesus! But it also works with mods that add loot and creatures and whatnot. Not all of them,
right.
But, it works with some of them. And I'm like, that looks like a really cool way to lose what's left of my free time. Anyway. But that's a roguelike mode. That's not just a randomizer. Apparently one of the new God of War, like, roguelikes have gotten so big that Sony put in a roguelike mode in one of the new God of War games. Might have been the most recent one, Ragnarok. Having not played either of those yet, I don't remember, but it trips me out that that's how popular, like, roguelikes have gotten, that AAA publishers are putting in a mode. Oh, it was Ragnarok. Okay. I love it.
I think a feature like that just makes it easier to just keep jamming games of something one after another.
Oh, yeah.
It's always just new and interesting each time.
Yeah, they used to add multiplayer to extend playtime, even in games where multiplayer made absolutely no freaking sense. But, like, I loved Inscription. But once you finish the story, there's really not a whole lot of reason to play it again.
Right.
But they added a roguelike mode, so after you beat it, there's this whole other mode to keep playing. And it's awesome. I still haven't gotten the damn Skullstorm achievement, which you get for winning a run with every difficulty modifier skull turned on. I tried it on stream several times, and Casey kept laughing at me because once while I was streaming, she's like, "Hey, I just got a win," and I was like, "Why don't you go to hell?" And a little while later, she's like, "Hey, I just got another one." I'm like, "Why don't you continue to go to hell?" She's like, "Man, I got 2 tonight, and you haven't gotten one ever." I'm like, "Hey, hell, get there." I think that's one of the things that drew me to, like, the crappy... Brian, which one was the gacha game that I used to play? Record Keeper.
Yes.
And then Brave Exvius, continued it, is smashing up everything in a given franchise.
Oh, uh-huh.
Brave Exvius was awesome. Yeah.
And
I loved the whole thought of like playing everybody, including the villains from these different franchises. Like that was great.
yeah. And even though as gotcha games, they're just there to get you addicted and then suck money out of you. Sometimes
Mhm.
it doesn't work, like on me and Brian.
True.
But that's okay. They can, as long as they land a whale, they can have like thousands of people that don't play or that don't pay,
There
and it's fine.
Yeah.
there was a guy I tried a mobile game for a while, and it was called Pixel Heroes, and there was a guy on our server shortly after the game's launch that must have he was even telling people, I make so much an hour and I'm spending like 3/4 of my income on this game, and I'm like, that's insane. And he was at the top of the leaderboards for everything for all that it did for him, and then one day he stopped playing, and it took like a good 2 months for anybody else to catch up to him because he had spent so much money, but he wasn't playing anymore, and I kind of have to wonder what was it all worth. But yeah, but if you're able to be patient and as long as you prioritize. But then what I don't love are the games where it's pointless to play if you're not paying. And for those for me, I'm like, yep, this is not fun. I don't want to play an actual slot machine. So, but that's not the whole point. The point that Chewie was making was about smashing things together.
And there was a crappy Castlevania mobile game that uh, was supposed to be free to play and heavily monetized. And then for some reason they pulled out and just released it as a free game. Mobile game unreleased. What was it called? Grimoire of Souls? That might have been it. Yeah, it was discontinued in 2020 due to monetization issues and low engagement.
Hmm.
And then I think it got released as a here you just play it.
Yeah. Uh, there was a game called Mega Man X Dive, I think, that was a mashup of like different Mega Man X games and characters and heroes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I found out about it very late in its life cycle. Um, like literally, I downloaded it. I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun. 2 weeks later, they're like, yeah, we're taking this game offline. But the neat thing that the developers did was they were like, hey, we want everybody to enjoy it. We spent a lot of time and energy making this game. So they just made it, I think, open to whoever wanted to play it, and just you can download it and play it, which
It's
is
uh
cool.
it's on Steam. Mega Man X Dive Offline. It's currently
Yeah.
on sale for $4.79. And but most of the complaints are this is totally a gotcha game. They just removed the gotcha mechanics. So it's just a lot of grinding.
Yeah. Because because every gotcha game has grinding, because that's how they get you. Again, if you're patient and if you don't have to have the newest thing right away, you're good. But at some point, that's what you're going to be paying for, is to skip the grinding. You're going to pay for the fast pass is how they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was in a bundle or something at some point and that I was looking at. I'm like, I've never even heard of this. Why does it have the word offline in the title?
Because for a long time it was online. But like
Yeah,
I
I was
said,
like,
I only found out about it, like, I kid you not, 2, maybe 3 weeks before it was going offline. And I'm like, And I realized I could have then purchased it, but I moved on to a different game.
But yeah, this is weird. But, they count on the nostalgia to jump out at you. Which it does. It works. Donovan Bates said Grimoire of Souls is the most generic ass dark fantasy title I've ever heard. I mean, every Castlevania title is the most generic ass dark fantasy title you've ever heard, though. Dawn of Sorrow.
Sylvania. Yeah. Lament of Innocence.
Yeah.
Lords of Shadow. Yeah. Castlevania. Dark thing of shadowy adjective.
Or music thing of something dark.
Of emotion. Yeah. Waltz of
Demons.
despair. Yeah.
Oh, I like yours better.
Castlevania Waltz of Despair coming 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, and for short, we'll call it Castlevania WAD.
Wouldn't it be Woad?
I mean, ROD is Rod, so WOD
That's
would be
true.
WAD. I don't know. What are we even doing here?
Rod is just an odd word. Rod is an odd. Oh my god. The words don't make sense anymore.
Correct. Oh man. Steam did their Steam replay thing.
Mhm.
Where they show you your crap for the year. Where is it? Is it under profile? Yeah, here we go. Steam replay for no, that's 2024. What? So how do I get to my Steam replay from this year? Is there? It's not on the main screen anymore, so I don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Steam replay. It's got its own little thing. Here we go. 2025. I played 66 games this year, which is 4 more than last year. A bunch of those don't count though because they were for the charity stream. I unlocked 504 achievements. Which is, are you ready for this? 734 fewer achievements than last year. Can you tell?
I was going to ask how.
Wow.
Well,
I was going to ask how many of those you unlocked during the charity stream.
I can tell you that. I just don't remember. Control. Okay, wait. Hang on. If I go to charity stream, where did I typed it out here somewhere. No, I didn't. Chivos. Search. Okay, hang on. Okay, here's where it went live. $53 plus 9. I don't remember what the plus. Oh, 53 I think I rolled into, and then plus 9, using the randomizer wheel.
Okay.
And then plus 9, I think while I was in some games, I was like, let's just get these others too.
Uh-huh.
I think is what that meant. But also, Cookie Clicker was a large percentage of last year and this year because it was 50% of my playtime. Which is where a bunch of these achievements came from, because Cookie Clicker has 637 achievements by itself.
Yeah.
I have all but 2.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. It has 637 achievements. I have 635. But back to the Steam replay. Yep, come on, load up. Let's go. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was my most played not cookie clicker game. Yakuza 0 was next. 4% of my games were new releases. 8% were classic games from 8 or more years ago, and then 88% was between 1 and 7 years. Okay. Baldur's Gate, Yakuza 0, Balatro was next, Hades 2 was next after that. XCOM should have been in there somewhere. I don't know why, because I played through XCOM again. Oh, 15% of my playtime on Steam Deck was XCOM. Okay. Got it. 11% of your playtime was with a controller. That really seems low. Well, I guess because Cookie Clicker's screwing everything up. Luckily, it won't be screwing anything up in 2026 and ahead, so... But yeah, from December 31st of last year to May 9th, I played 56 different games. So that's where, you know, the charity stream was in what? March?
Right.
Yeah, the end of March. By the way, we raised $1,555 for Trans Lifeline this year.
Very nice.
Played 38 games during that time. And considering a bunch of these were, ooh, let's install it on the Steam Deck and see if it works. Yeah, here we go. March has show more. Oh my god. Yeah, March is massive because of the charity stream. I might have to come up with a new idea for the charity stream this year or next year, whatever. Because, man, trying to find achievements that are, you know, I try to hit a sweet spot between, like, you know, load the game, achievement, yay, and, you know, grind for 40 hours.
Right.
And trying to find achievements like that I don't already have in games that I know how to play. Huh. Is kind of rough. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I played a lot of games this year. What does it say? The Steam... Alright, mouse. Grab hold of the thing. There we go. Scroll back up. Scroll back up. Nope, scroll further. The Steam replay is massive. Yeah, I unlocked 504 achievements. The Steam median is 11. I played 66 games. The Steam median is 4. My longest streak was 129 days. You want to guess what the Steam median is?
3?
Not quite that bad. Brian?
7.
Oh, just missed it. It's 6. Stupid cookie clicker. Because I just open up Cookie Clicker and then go about whatever it is I was doing.
Yeah.
Which is why it's 50% of my total playtime. Because it was open for half the year. Oh, I only got 26 of the Cookie Clicker achievements this year. Good lord, most of it was last year. Anyway, you were about to say, Brian, I'm sorry?
Said that'll do it. I was not about to say something.
Oh, never mind. So yeah, that's
So
what I do.
we started this conversation a little bit with games you would want to see randomized. Then we kind of evolved into games where you'd like to see like a mashup. I wonder if there's more we could do with that. Like, we talked about Final Fantasy Record Keeper and Mega Man, and what you actually I think started this conversation with the Super Mario Brothers. Was it just called Super Mario Brothers crossover?
Crossover, yeah.
So yeah, which kind of leads me back to Punch Out. What if you could play Punch Out, but the opponent was Mega Man? That wouldn't be fair at all. I mean, you have to be up close, right? So, I don't know.
What if it was Hard Man? Hard
I see
Man.
what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, because his weapon is a fist.
Yes. Would you get power ups for beating the other wrestlers? Wrestlers.
I actually think Mega Man would work better as a wrestling game than a fighting game, than a boxing game. I mean, obviously, it would work better as a fighting game because there were 2 Mega Man fighting games.
There were?
Yeah, the Mega Man Power Battles in arcades. I only ever saw one of them in the wild once. And I was like, what is this? Sorry, Mega Man The Power Battle, and then Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters. Were these just arcades? Yeah, this is just arcades. They're in the one of the 2 Mega Man Legacy collections, but I forget which one. Oh, they're also on the Capcom Arcade thing, which is on Steam and Switch and whatnot. Excuse me. I picked up the entire collection. Like, there's 2 collections of Capcom Arcade. There's Capcom Arcade and then Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, where it's just ROMs of their, like, old arcade games, not the various console versions.
Oh, okay.
And you can find them in bundles every once in a while for like $10 for a billion old arcade games. And even though I probably have most of them already on, various emulation things, like having it in one place that's much easier to deal with, that I can also play on the Steam Deck, is really cool. And I have them installed. Well, I have it because it's one big thing. I have it installed on the Steam Deck, and occasionally I'll open it up and. Oh no, they are 2 separate games. That's weird. But like, looking at the Second Stadium, there's some stuff that no one remembers, like Savage Bees and the Speed Rumbler.
The Speed Rumbler.
Yeah.
Those sound like made up things you'd see mentioned in a strong bad email or something.
Exactly. But then also you get stuff like Gansumoku, which is Gunsmoke.
Oh.
And the various Street Fighter arcade games, and Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters. Hey, look at that. And Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Knights of the Round. Magic Sword. King of Dragons. Black Tiger. Tiger Road. Those are 2 completely different games. I think. maybe they're not. Uh, I think the first one has more recognizable stuff. Like, those are soundtracks. I don't care about that. Warriors of Fate was a beat 'em up. Let's see, Battle Circuit. I think I think that was the fighting game. Various Street Fighter, Section Z, Legendary Wings, Bionic Commando. No, not the one from on the NES. Completely different. Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, Strider, Commando, Captain Commando. Yeah. Capcom had some killer old arcade games. I cannot recommend buying them individually though. Like, find a bundle on Humble or Fanatical or something if you ever want to pick those up, because buh. Anyway, hi.
Hey.
Oh, here we go. Are there any old, or not even old, are there any like game series or something like that you would want to see all of it collected together and sold as one thing?
Ooh, like what they've been doing lately with like the Ninja Turtles. They had a collection a little while ago.
Yeah, the Cowabunga
There were
collection, and
there were
the various
way more.
Castlevania collections, and
Yeah.
The Mega Man Legacy collections, and all the Ace Attorney stuff. Like this has
Yeah.
become a thing lately.
Kingdom Hearts has had a couple
Kingdom
different
Hearts,
collections.
yeah. Stuff
Huh.
like that. Because
I
I've
mean,
got one that I've been calling for years that Nintendo's
Well, what's
never
that?
going to do because they're bastards. And it's just put all of the 2D Legends of Zelda games together.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, all the old handheld ones that I didn't get to play because I didn't have any of the handheld systems. Just put them all together. I know I can emulate them all. I've literally got them all right now. But if you put them all in a bundle and make it playable on the Switch 1, I will buy that.
You could have his money. People have been saying forever. Like I remember when they made Mario Maker and they made Mario Maker 2 and people were like, "Where's the Zelda Maker?" I saw somebody on YouTube put together like a proof of concept like, "Look, this is what it would look like. This is how you like create the overworld and stuff like that." People love them some 2D Zeldas, and Nintendo has been like, "Why would we do this thing?" And I'm like, "Oh my God. Just do it. Just do it and have all the money, but whatever." So yeah, a Zelda collection would be great. I think the first collection I ever really saw that would fit this concept, there was I'm trying to remember if it was on the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo. I think it might have been the Super Nintendo. The Mario game where it was like a collection of the early Marios together, like including the lost levels.
That was also the first, as far as I'm aware, remake
Yeah,
of a remaster of a game for a later console. And it was, Super Mario All-Stars was Mario 1,
that's
2,
right.
3, and the
All
Lost
Stars.
Levels remade for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I know some people. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I've enjoyed the games. I have not played them in how many generations? But some people would give various parts of their anatomy for like a comprehensive Pokemon game that's like maybe not all the games because that might be insane, but one that's like 3 generations or so. I don't know if that's an obscene number, but I think they're up to what, like 10 or something now. So just a large group of those in one playable setting.
Yeah. I have no interest in Pokemon, but
No,
yeah.
but I guess you asked what would we like to do, and my brain went to what would other people like to see happen. Um, and that was one of the ones that jumped out at me.
Hell is other people.
Uh, People are hell.
I mean, what? Who said that? Was that
Sark.
Sart? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right then. Thanks, Mike.
So some of these they've made. Some of the ones I'm thinking of have already been made,
Oh yeah, like what?
like Kingdom Hearts, like Castlevania.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just thinking of the franchises that I enjoy. Final Fantasy, they did like the pixel remasters, so
Yeah. And basically every Final Fantasy after that is still available for purchase on basically every platform there is. So, hmm.
yeah, it's a neat idea. I'm just trying to think of things that they haven't already done yet. But the good news is, good news, bad news, they are not shy about monetizing our own childhoods back at us. So
Oh yeah. Just sometimes I wish they would do it better. Like they're already doing it. Something came up. Oh, was it a podcast I was listening to or oh, I can't remember, but something came up about, oh, why don't they re-release these? And I went, oh, that would be amazing. But now I can't remember what it was.
Pebble Beach, no. Um, Duck Hunt, no. Come on, Brian. Uh,
Brian, you're gonna bust a mainspring. Don't hurt
I
yourself.
know, I know.
I've opened up Launchbox, and eventually it'll open so I can look because I've got a collection of franchises there. You know, here's all the games in the whatever series. That'll help kick my brain into gear. But like digital storefronts help with this because they can make uh bundles of games. Like I got all of the old Hitman games in case I ever decide I want to try all of those for something like $6. I was like, you know what? I'll buy Codename 47 and Hitman 2, Silent Assassin and Contracts and Blood Money and even the crap that was Absolution for a single digit.
Has
Yeah.
has there been a Street Fighter collection?
A couple.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's a given, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. All I'm thinking about is stuff that they've either done or is very obvious, which, hey, you know,
Ooh, what about all the F-Zero games?
I was never very good at them. If you ever wanted to find out how many ways a human being could crash on the course, I'm pretty sure I could school you in that, but
Let's see. They've pretty much done that with Tony Hawk. And stuff like that I have listed here in my emulation thing, like Spider-Man collection. Well, the Spider-Man games were published by like 8,000 different people. The same with Batman collection. Like just on the screen right now, I see Sunsoft, Ocean. I don't even recognize that logo. Who made this? Aspect. Okay. So yeah, like that's not even feasible from a rights perspective, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The same with Disney games. Like they already did a Disney collection of a bunch of the NES Disney games because those were all Capcom. It wasn't all of them, but you know, it had DuckTales and Tailspin and Rescue Rangers. Disney. The Disney Afternoon Collection. Here it is. Oh, and Darkwing Duck. Oh, and it had both of the Rescue Rangers and both of the DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Tailspin. But that's just the games based on Disney Afternoon. Capcom did a lot of Disney games back then on 8 and 16-bit systems that they could totally, you know, remaster and sell. And everyone would lose their minds because a bunch of them were really good. If, you know, the rights thing wasn't a horrible mess.
Wasn't an issue, yeah. Because Disney. As much as I love Disney, because Disney.
Yeah, Capcom did the Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. Disney Interactive Studios developed and Virgin Interactive published the one on Genesis. So, like, you can't have one of these Aladdin games and not the other. How would that even work? And they're making a Mega Man collection for every version of Mega Man. Like, there's 2 Legacy collections. I think there's 2 X collections. There's a Zero collection. There's a Battle Network collection, and I think they announced a Star Force collection. So, like, Capcom is all about capitalizing. There's a Metal Gear Master Collection that collects some of the old games, and I'm hoping they're going to do a second one that has some of the, like, Acid and some of the PSP games and whatnot, and the Twin Snakes, the remake of Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube. So I'm hoping they're going to do a second one. Oh, what about Shinobi? They should just package all of the Shinobi games together. Because there's so many across the various Sega platforms. Like, do it like Castlevania. Have the arcade game, have the Master System game, have the various Genesis and Game Gear games, and just here, play all these. Because most of them, if not all of them, were Sega first party, weren't they? I think so. See if you can even get the rights to the Tengen NES knockoff that was not technically legal. And finally, package up all of the old Twisted Metal games and sell them in one package. I'd buy that too. Oh well. I'll stop now. Did it lose you both?
I'm here.
No, I'm here. I think I'm just starting to run out of steam.
Yeah,
a bit, but
I'm flagging too, I think.
I've been up for a very long time today, so. Which, hey,
Excuses,
I've really
excuses.
enjoyed this conversation, but
I don't know what it is about me, but like I really love seeing how a given series or franchise or something has changed from its inception. Which
Hmm.
is why I love these, game collections where they gather up all of the stuff and just put it together and go, "Here, play it all in one place." Like I really enjoy that sort of thing. Oh, hey Mike.
Yes.
A long time ago on an odds and ends that I just posted. And I think on the next one, and I have to listen to, I'll probably tell you this then, but we
Hmm.
were talking about the old Wolfenstein games,
Oh, uh-huh.
and I realized that between Steam and emulation, I had all of the old games except for the one like 360 PS3 era game that no one even remembers.
Uh-huh.
I totally acquired a completely legal copy of that.
Nice.
I don't know why I'm talking in code. I found a ROM for it. They're not selling it anymore. It's not illegal if it's abandonware. I don't care what you say. If they would put it on Steam, I'd have bought it there, like I did. What was it? Castle Wolfenstein. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. That's on Steam. I paid for it.
Yeah.
That other
I think
one doesn't exist, so I downloaded it. Bite me. What was that, Mike? I'm sorry.
um I think I still have my no, I probably threw away the box. But I know I still have my CD for Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I bought that physically.
Nice. Oh well. Well, this was a nice little random ass conversation for about old video games for the end of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You guys want to leave off with anything deep or vital or inspirational or don't all go at once now?
No. There was a this touches on a couple of things we mentioned. A game I loved playing in college with my roommate was uh, a multiplayer specific variant of Return to Castle Wolfenstein called Enemy Territory. That was it was in development, and then I don't know whether they ran out of money or people got reassigned or the studio's direction just changed, but they had 3 full maps done, and they got to a point where, like, okay, the project was off, but they'd done all this work, so they just decided to release it for free and even like open source the service hosting, um, the server side hosting stuff for it. So it's like, okay, here's this game, we're gonna sell it, but not anymore. Here it is for free. Have fun. And it was awesome. And people could mod it and add new like art assets and build new maps, and um, so abandonware that like legit abandonware that the development studio was like, yeah, everybody here, have at it.
originally planned to be released as a commercial expansion pack to Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was released in May of 03, and then in January of 04, they released the source code for the game logic, but not the game engine, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Wait, is Enemy Territory on Steam? Nuh-uh.
I don't remember whether I played it through Steam or whether it had its own launcher. Oh, awesome.
And it was released on Steam in 2022. So. And it's free there too. That's neat.
I'm gonna sign off because I find myself. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just finding myself nodding off here. So,
well,
I've really
have
enjoyed this
anything
conversation.
Final or inspirational or anything to throw in here at the end of the year?
My final inspirational thought is that it's been a crazy year for so many reasons, and autocracies and things like that. But hey, I'm still here. I'm still plugging away. Family's doing well. Got an early birthday present. Carrie bought tickets for us to go see the Final Fantasy concert in Greensboro in February. So even though my birthday's not for a couple of weeks, I found out about it.
Is that the thing I ruined?
Yes. It's not his fault. I was coming downstairs from working up in the office, and as I was walking downstairs, my phone gets a text, and Chewy's like, "Hey, have you heard about the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert at the Tanger Center?" Because he knows that we have season tickets to a lot of their shows. And I said, "No, I haven't heard of that." And I go downstairs, and Carrie and Sam are in the living room. And I said, "Hey, Chewy just texted me. Have you heard about this?" And they both look at each other. And I'm like, "What?" And then Carrie gets a look on her face. I'm like, "You knew about that?" She's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Are we going?" And she's like, "Happy birthday." And I said, "Well, thank you." So actually, by her telling me that, we went to go see the play The Outsiders on last Friday, which was awesome.
Ooh.
It was really, really good. It was very well done. And while we were there, we went and picked up tickets for Distant Worlds and saved like $50 versus Ticketmaster because Ticketmaster is. Ugh. So, I'm in a good place. I'm looking forward. Got a couple things going on next year that I'm looking forward to. And I hope everyone, whether you're listening to this in December or January or in 2053 for some reason, I don't know if the aliens have dug up this ancient recording in another 3,000 years. I hope this finds you well. I hope that even if you're going through a hard time, that you know that someone cares about you, and hope you pull through. And if you're not in a rough time, I hope you're grateful for it. So that's my deep inspirational thought. I love you guys very much. Seriously, both of you have a very happy, very merry Christmas holiday season, and I'll talk at you. I'm sure both in the next couple of weeks, but I'll see you both again for the Mana Pool next year.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
cutting
go to
off
bed.
all communication until 2026. So
Getting in
Get
this
it
last
out
message
now.
now. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Night, guys.
maybe.
Good
Lord. But yeah, I was
Oh, boy.
scrolling Facebook and that was an ad that popped up, and I was like, Tanger Center? Oh, I wonder if Brian knows about that. So I texted him, and I ruined. Now, if Carrie and Sam were better actors, which, much like Brian, they are not, at least Sam isn't, then they could have played it off, but they did not. So it's not entirely my fault. Because they could very easily have done the, oh no, we'll look into that. That sounds cool, and just
Yeah.
But the way they did handle it was much funnier to me. So
Oh yes. Very much.
it's really all I care about. I'm terrible. But oh yeah, there's holidays and stuff. So for everyone who celebrates any of that nonsense, I hope you have a good one. And for anyone who doesn't, I hope you have a good, whatever, cold or warm, depending on your location on the globe.
And maybe all the other people who are off celebrating holidays stay out of your hair.
Oh yeah, let's hope so. Good God. I really hate Christmas people. Like, not people who enjoy Christmas, but the people who want you to enjoy Christmas.
Uh-huh. I get what you mean.
Like, I'm fine just ignoring all of that. The Infiltrator said, "Happy holidays and or existence." Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
But I'm good to, deal with all of the shopping crowds. Oh my God, dude. Traffic in Kernersville for door dashing has been a nightmare. Because it always is. Because, Walmart and Target and Kohl's are all on the same road.
Yeah.
In Kernersville. And there's only 2 roads in Kernersville. 2 main roads. So... and guess where a bunch of the food is, and if the food isn't there, it's the way to get to where people have ordered the food.
Right.
It's that same road. So it's, oh my God, sometimes I just want to die sitting in traffic. I got okay, Mike. I was at a green light.
Yes.
Stopped. Because the car in front of me had pulled forward, and they were the last person that was not blocking the intersection. And that line of traffic wasn't moving. Like, it was down a hill, so I could see the whole line of traffic. The red light up ahead, further ahead, was red, so everyone was stopped. So there was nowhere for me to go that wouldn't block the intersection, so I didn't go. Right. And the guy behind me was leaning on his horn.
I don't understand how people can't see like 50 feet in front of them to understand what's going on.
Yeah, all he saw was that there was space between me and the car in front of me and the car in front of me, and that was just wrong. And then the light turned red, and that car didn't move, and I flipped him off because I don't care where you need to be. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I've got food sitting here that's getting cold that I need to deliver to someone. I hope you get a flat tire just because you're being a dick.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you can communicate all that with one simple gesture. I was like, if I pull up, then nobody can go from anywhere, and we're in gridlock forever until that light changes. Like, you need to go back home, son, because you know it was a man. You know it was a man.
Yep.
Anyway, happy 2020.
I got honked at a few weeks ago.
Well, that's just because you're
But
so
it
hot.
was well, yeah, it was a situation where I couldn't really fault the other driver for doing it because I was let's see, yeah, I was going to pick up some food, and I was in the Palladium Shopping Center. I was making a turn into another part of the parking lot where I needed to be, and when I hit my turn signal, I heard it start doing the fast click, the fast blink, which means one of them was out,
Oh.
and I could see in front of me that it was flashing, so that meant the back one was out. So when I, slowed down and made that turn into the other part of the parking lot, the person behind me honked because, as far as they knew, I just suddenly slowed down and didn't use my blinker and turned. So I'm like, okay, fine. I was like, I get it. I know why you honked. That's okay. That's okay. I'll get it fixed.
Whoops. I just hate people.
Yeah.
I keep coming back to that line from Men in Black. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. Yeah. And also, when they're either anonymous through a keyboard or in traffic, they just lose all sense of decency. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But oh well. I guess we should probably stop the Just Chatting episode. But seriously though, for anyone listening, I do hope that you have a good end of year. Whether that involves holidays or family or avoiding people and playing video games. Like, whichever. None of the above. All of the above. Because usually families and holidays leads to getting away from everyone and playing video games. And I have been making a concerted... I didn't realize I'd gotten so far behind in the odds and ends. The one I just... the last one I listened to, Mike, was after I went to Carowinds with Sam.
Oh, well, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that was only June. It was only 6 months ago.
You've been in deeper backlogs before.
Yeah,
Wait.
and then I got caught up and then immediately dropped down again. Deanful Trader said I'm going to hopefully finish Claire Obscure Expedition 33 and be happy but also sad. That is what I understand, yeah. I didn't realize that Claire Obscure swept the Game Awards until I was listening to a podcast about an RPG fan podcast about the Game Awards. And they were like, yeah, Claire Obscure just swept everything. And I went, ooh, everything? Oh. Also, Jeff Keighley sucks, but for unrelated reasons. Because they beat other games and other, like, I get the Game of the Year, but they won like Best Game Direction, but apparently whoever wins Best Game Direction always wins Game of the Year, because whoever it is that is voting for how those work don't know what Game Direction is, so it turns into the same popularity contest as Game of the Year. I don't know, but they won Best Soundtrack, and apparently they were all the nominations for Best Voice Performance. I'm like, what? I get that there are different, voice actors that you want to recognize, but Oh, wait, no. Not all of them. Just 3 of the 6 were from Claire Obscure. Apparently Charlie Cox is in Expedition 33. The guy what played Daredevil in the Daredevil series.
Oh.
Interesting. I didn't know he was doing video game stuff. That's neat.
Yeah.
He plays a good ass-kicking blind man. And I'm sure whatever he's doing in Expedition 33 is probably on the same level of weird, so... Anyway. But yeah, if you have played Clair Obscur Expedition 33, then, I guess, tell me about it, because it's one of those that I recognize as amazing and see why people like it and have zero interest in it myself, and I don't know why. Like, I can't put my finger on anything in particular that makes me go, I don't really want to play that. But I don't.
Yeah.
It looks totally like my jam. It's a turn-based RPG, Mike, with a bizarre and heartfelt story. That sounds just like me, and yet...
It does. It should.
I don't know. It's weird. I blame the white people. You know who I don't blame, though? The Mythic Lifeguards. Because you can go to patreon.com/themanapool and become a lifeguard. And that's what I was getting to with the odds and ends. I'm making a concerted effort to post those.
Mm-hmm.
One or two of them have gone live already. There's a third one that is scheduled. And that's going to be what I do for the rest of the week, is listen through those, do any editing that needs doing, and get them scheduled out, on a drip feed. So if you're looking for something to listen to while you're traveling, then there you go. There'll be a lot. But hey, let me thank our Mythic Lifeguards: Al, ALK Alters, Andrew Odie, Jake Jansons, Jason Doan, Jason Kaus, Casey, Kim Ho, Michael, Scuzzo, Timu Hellas Haryu, and Violet Moon. Yay. But yeah, I'm spending the rest of the year doing cleanup on stream. I'm going to try to finish the Hades Platinum. I got the epilogue, which was not anywhere near as involved as the epilogue in the first game, and I'm curious if there's more, because it just sort of popped up, and then and that was it. And I was like, that, and I got the epilogue achievement. I was like, that was it, really? And then another thing happened, which completely blew my mind and made my jaw drop. But it was just a conversation. And I went, is there more? And there have been a lot of references to those two things since then.
Yeah.
Like whenever you meet a new god, or meet a god again for the first time since then, they'll reference the epilogue. And I'm like, oh, so there's more story, but I don't know if there's any more, like, events. Like in Hades 1, it ended with a big thing that you were working towards the whole time, which I guess technically this did too. I don't know. I was just underwhelmed. And I'm hoping that there's another something that's going to happen at some point. But I kind of doubt it. I don't know. I see why people say that the gameplay is just as good, if not better. But the story's kind of... And the whole time I was playing, I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And then I got to the end and I went, oh. Huh. It's not that it's bad. It just kind of, and it's done. And I went, what? But anyway. But yeah, I'm going to try to finish the platinum on that. Most of it just involves continuing to play the game, so I'm going to do that on and off stream. Given this late in the year, I don't think I'm going to get back to Final Fantasy VI, but Final Fantasy VI is one of the main priorities when the new year rolls over, and playing the Ninja games from 2025. That's the other priority. case I don't remember if I said that on the show or not, I'm going to play Ninja 5-0, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which are all 2D ninja platformers that released in 2025. And then and then talk for too long without having a drink. And choke to death. And then make some sort of video about that. Because there are 3 ninja 2D ninja games that came out in 2025. What? 2 of them are new entries in old ass series. What?
Wow.
Like Ninja Gaiden started on the NES, or maybe in the arcades. I'm not sure which came first. And Shinobi was, we were just talking about that as an old arcade and Master System originally game. So for them both to get a new 2D entry in the same year huh? Damn, that's eerie. What's the thing, if I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it came out twice.
Yes.
I didn't watch that show, but everyone
Was
references.
that
Is that what? Was that Phineas and Ferb?
I think it was.
I don't know. Everybody references that because a lot of weird things have happened twice. Mm-hmm. Ninja 5-0 doesn't count. It's just a port of an old cult classic GBA game. But I've always wanted to play it, so hey, Anyway. But yeah, Mike, you good?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so I'm going to continue streaming, throughout the rest of the year, but in January I'm going to go back and do the second half of Final Fantasy VI. Whoops. And then play the 3 ninja games and then branch out from there. I've been inspired lately and I have a lot of ideas and I'm going to have to play a lot of games for those ideas. So I'm probably going to stream most of that. So come hang out. You can see what I'm working on and what I'm feeling about them before I start scripting things. So that'll be neat. Yeah. But with that, I don't think we ever said Dirk's not here because his kid had a concert?
Yes, I believe so.
Is he in band and on the swim team and in the robotics thing?
Could be. I knew kids in high school who did stuff like that.
Man.
I sure didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did none of that. I was in the National Honor Society and I would do charity events there because they made me. But I didn't do the extracurricular crap because I didn't see the point. They're like, it makes you look good for your college application. And I'm like, if my extremely high GPA doesn't get me into college, then I don't want to go. Like, anyway. That, and I've always hated people. But not you, dear Pooligans. I don't hate you. I hate the bad people. The ones in charge at the moment. Oh well. Hey, Mike. 2026, yes. We get 365 new chances for that headline. Huh?
I love it.
So, with that, we will stop. So, thank you so much to everyone who hangs out for the show or listens to the show or hangs out in the Manipool Discord or is a lifeguard on Patreon at any tier or a Twitch subscriber or just anything that you do to help support us, whether it's financially or algorithmically, I guess. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, I'm hoping to shift how the content creation works in 2026. Take a step to the left. do some of those them there fancy vidya essays, as they say, or just scripted content in general. Because I don't know if anything I would be doing qualifies as a capital V video capital E essay. But either way, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. And yeah, good riddance to 2025, everybody. So thank you all so very much for joining us, and please don't release any more 2025 2D Ninja games. Thank you very much.